I'm Annabelle McNaughton.
And I'm Grant McNaughton, her dad. We were going to tell you some stories from our camping trips because we love to go camping as a family. And Annabelle wanted to tell you about something that really excited her and her brothers this last time we went camping.
Where do I start?
Where do you want to start? Where's a good place to start?
Was it where we had already lived?
You can speak into here.
Yeah, it's okay. You can
just
do
chat.
that.
It's all good.
Yeah, you're just telling me.
So remember, we arrived at the campsite and we went down to the lake and we found lots of things on the floor. You can maybe tell her that.
Yeah. And my name is Isis. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself.
So we went camping, and there was this lake right by our camping spot. Is that what you call it? And there was this, like, the ground had like a bunch of sticks and like stuff on it, and then we were looking around on the ground for good like sticks to throw into the lake, and we found some fishing line, and so we tied it to a stick, and my brother tried fishing with it, but there was no like hook or bait, so we kept on looking, and I found two I think baits, like two different like really realistic fish bait with hooks on the end, and then we tied that to the end of it, and then we put it in the middle of the lake, and we tried to see if a fish would catch hold of it, but then after like a few days there was no fish, sadly. So we went to
Well, what happened to those bait in the end? Because we were throwing.
That was at the other place.
Okay, that's okay then.
Where was the other place?
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. We went down this little like trail, and we found another place for fishing, in the same lake, and we set up our bait and like everything up, and then we brought down chairs, and we couldn't catch anything. And then my dad tried tying it up more so it'd be like shorter, and then it came loose, and the bait went flying off. So we lost that bait.
So what did we have in the end? We just had a stick with a bit of string on and a hook.
Yeah.
And you can't catch a fish like that, right?
Mhm.
But what happened?
Then on our last day, we were like about to leave, and we were like 1 minute away from leaving, and we sprinted down to the lake just to check one more time, and we saw a fish was just hanging from it, but then we got terrified, and my dad came running down because we were screaming at him, and he grabbed the fish and chucked it back in.
Oh, saved it.
And then we ran back up, and we drove away really excited.
But it was so cool. And then what were you guys saying about the fish? Like, what kind of fish can you catch with just a hook and no bait?
A depressed one.
Oh, the poor fish.
But I think like it had a good moment where it looked at its life and thought, you know, actually life is for living. Life is pretty cool because it swam off. And I like to think to this day he's with his little fishy friends, telling the same story in a little fish talker truck.
What do you love so much about going camping with your family? Like, what's the best part for you?
I like being outdoors and having s'mores.
Being outdoor and s'mores. I think that's the perfect combo.
But how do we make the s'mores? Because there's no like stove or anything.
The fire.
We have to make a fire, right? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty primal.
That is pretty
We were going to tell you of a time that we went camping. In fact, it was the same camping trip, and we were really surprised because it was a local campsite, which are normally really busy. And this time it wasn't so busy. There was only 2 other families there, and we were staying for 2 nights. So on the first night, we got to like hang out with the other families, and we had a really good time.
Oh, and then didn't we go to like a water park or something?
We did. We went to a little water park for the day.
And then we came back, and there were no people there. And the first thing my brother said was, "Can we go naked?"
That's awesome.
was pretty cool. That was his like full-on nature moment. Was like, and the thing is, he wasn't like in kindergarten. He wasn't like 5 at this point.
11.
He was 11.
He
and
really
he was
just wanted to see what that would be like, because
Yeah.
we don't really get that opportunity mainly in this country. There's other countries where they allow that as a culture that's okay.
And down at More Mesa Beach.
Yeah,
They're
more
pretty-
Mesa is true. When I was a teenager here, it was all so down
That's very
Summerlin.
true.
Okay, but that was a long time ago. But how cool. So you really enjoy the s'mores and maybe even setting up the fire to have the s'mores. Really just like hanging out.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I didn't like sleeping because it was really cold.
You know what? I'm agreeing, and I've noticed the older that I get, my body doesn't really like the rocks and the sticks and the ground as much. But when I was younger, it was great. So I now have to do just a little bit more bouginess. I need to have some thicker padding when I'm in the tent because I love to camp. And my family, we didn't camp as much because we come from countries where I'm from El Salvador and Guatemala, and camping is not a part of our culture. And to come to this country when I was a little younger than you and have my friends talk about camping, and we all just looked at each other like, what is that? Right? What is that? And then to go and camp for the first time, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And this is before cell phones or computers. So we're talking like it was a while ago.
But yeah, it's interesting.
So amazing.
A similar experience where coming to California to camp, it's like, oh, it's a mini vacation and it's super pleasurable. Versus in England, where I grew up, it was survival and literally. Well,
The stick?
that might be like an excessive phrase to
I know,
use
but
for
it's great.
survival, but it was more, can you stay dry
Yeah.
for 24 hours? That was the game. Can you stay dry for 24 hours, pretty much? Because it's a soggy
a
little
bit wet.
country.
It's a bit wet.
It's
over
a bit
there.
wet. That's not really set up for it. But here, it's like a pure pleasure.
It is.
And super
Yeah.
fun.
And thank you both so much for sharing your family's experience in camping and all the small adventures that you get to have. And I hope that you have decades more, even when your parents are so old that you're going to have to do the bougie version of maybe like a rollout bed.
You can do the bougie version or the boozy version. And both of them allow you to sleep very well.
I do a combo. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for listening.
We have all received a gift, an expected or anticipated gift for a birthday, anniversary, retirement. Each time we receive that gift, whether it meets our expectation, we feel something. Happy, sad, disappointed. The gifts that are unexpected, unconditional, small or large, have the potential of changing the trajectory of a life. Someone pays for your groceries when you're out of money, leaves you a big tip just when you think you can't afford your rent. Those are the gifts that ease our fears, make us grateful, and want to help others. This is a space where we share how those gifts, big or small, make a difference and change our lives. Welcome to the Starfish Connection.